Someone asked a question, violent revolution. I hope not. 88. um, Canelo, I would like to know your opinion of political Zionism. This is a really tricky question for me to answer because of my community, and also I was raised by two parents who were so strongly Zionistic that when the state was established, they applied to their respective local and national government in Romania. This is before their families met. And the minute the communists let them out, which is I think in my mother's case was 17 years later, they said, okay, you can go. And my father also took it years. Um, they moved to Israel and they had their kids there. My father worked for the army. He was an electronic engineer, Alav Shalom, and it looked like they were there for forever until something happened with in terms of with my dad's relationship to the army. But either way, but I came to think about this topic from many different perspectives. I was actually a Judaic Studies major was one of my majors, that and political science in college, and when you combine those two courses, you get some overlap. You get like history of Zionism. You get the state of Israel. You get very good things to think about. So I don't know if you really want to know the history of it. The best book I can recommend is Walter Laqueur's The History of Zionism. It's big, it's long, it's comprehensive, it's dry at times. But in terms of if you wanted to know the history of it, what I think personally, and we have the advantage, as will the people who live tomorrow have this advantage of knowing what's going on right now. At the time, it was wildly romantic. I mean, you put in the context of the Jewish canon. So we had one of the greatest destructions in the history of the Jewish people, if not the greatest, in the Holocaust. And 3 years later, there's a movement that Jews can live in Israel forever. It was wildly messianic, and even the fact, unfortunately, there's some prophecies of the Messiah that involve war. The Rebbe said that only the good prophecies should come true. But think about it. There was a war right the minute the state was declared, and the Jews won the war. The only thing that was missing was this unity, it seems, from the Jewish people to all move to Israel at once. It's hard to say if that would have happened, what would be with Messiah. It's really hard to say, but there are a lot of people staunchly opposed to this movement. Quoting the Baraisa in Kesubas, I think 111a or b, it says basically there's three promises the Jews to make. One of them seems to be that they don't take sovereignty in the land of Israel until Mashiach comes. As I pointed out in my other video, this wasn't them claiming sovereignty in the land, as it were. First of all, this was much more of just a reaction of guilt and shame and embarrassment from the nations of the world who had now realized for the umpteenth time there's no solution to the Jewish problem. They're hated wherever they go. No matter what they contribute to that society, they're still not given credit, and not only that, but it's turned against them eventually, and they're never seen as regular citizens. They're always second class, and eventually they just get expelled from place to place. Having seen this for so long, and coincidentally, the mandate for Palestine anyway was ending on the side of the British. So somehow it went to the UN, and somehow it was formed. Now, how has it been to the Jewish people? How many people have died? And the argument against that would be, well, could you say if there perhaps would have been another Holocaust if Israel wasn't open for the Jews to go? Many countries were rejecting letting Jews in. So who knows the alternatives? I'm not God, and I don't know. I don't like projecting what could be type issues. But there's been a lot of Jewish life lost defending the land, which of course is a mitzvah. But it's interesting because it's in the Torah. When you come back into the land, certain things you have to do, and one of them is you have to make a king for yourself. You have to destroy Molech. You have to build the Beis Hamikdash. And it's interesting that the place where the Dome of the Rock is, I think when they first took over Jerusalem, I think one of their leaders, the Arab leaders, came and said, just let me go one more time to this place. I know you're going to destroy it, but let me go one more time. And he was permitted, and somehow the secular Jews decided we shouldn't really destroy it. It's a symbol. I don't know exactly how that movement played out, but there was probably international pressure from the United States and the like. But they didn't build the temple yet. They didn't. Who knows about Amalek? We don't really know. I have my personal opinion, but that's just based on me. And they haven't appointed a king over themselves. So, what do I think about political Zionism? It's tricky. It's something that the world invented, not the Jewish people. I mean, it came from people like thinkers like Herzl, but you have to understand these people, their vision of it, if they saw it today, I think he would have gladly accepted that place in Africa they want to give him. Because it's now become the thorn in the side. The Jews are murderers because the state has an army. Jews are oppressing poor Palestinian farmers because CNN can show any image they want of anyone. They can even stage their own images and show you that, claiming from the top of your TV screen it's from wherever they want in the world. They literally have no know exactly who's censoring those guys, but I won't watch them. And that's pretty much it. It's tricky, and it's something that you have to be sensitive towards, and you just have to understand where it comes from and why it exists. And I don't think, the Torah's version of this is much different. It's a monarch. It's Jews living under the will of God, and it's a king, and it's a court of law that argues according to the Torah. So it's a strange, the expression is politics makes for strange bedfellows. This was a good example of you put this hope of the messianic redemption together with politics, you get strange results. But am I glad I have a place to go in case America expels the Jews? I'm not upset about it. I kind of like that it's there, and I appreciate it. And I would, if I went there, I'd gladly serve in the army, because I think it's a mitzvah, and especially if you're going to live there, you might as well protect it for a while. It engenders this eternal feeling of allegiance, of pride. I don't know. Something that I think if America started doing. Mandatory military service, 2 years for guys, or whatever they do. I think 3 years for guys, 2 years for girls, whatever it is, but you won't see people burning flags here. You won't see people so unappreciative of our version of freedom, even though, of course, it could be much higher, much better, with much more things being legal for us. But I think it would really change the face of this country, and it would make the next generation, amazing. There wouldn't be any, I don't know, and it makes you, I knew my brother and his friend were both overweight when they were in Israel, and one time I saw his friend after many years, and I didn't know, I was in the room with him for like 20 minutes not knowing it was him, because he had lost so much weight from the army, and it just made him a regimented person. These are people, sometimes they go in teenagers, they're 17, they're rambunctious, they want to do everything. Get them into the army, they realize life is serious right away. They get skills of knowing how to take commands, and understanding what teamwork is, and the importance of human life and the sanctity of human life, and God. I think they understand about whether they like it or not, and they come out, they're men. They're not 20-year-old boys who are still looking to score with college girls and with whatever they're into, and that just. And people ask, why is Israel so successful? Obviously now everyone's struggling, but what about they have their own version of Silicon Valley over there? The Technion, they have a lot of great minds over there. So why is it? Put someone in the army at 18, the rest of his adult life is going to be different, and there's a price to pay. Obviously, you risk your life when you're in the army, and I think there's also a constant reserve system, but it would do wonders for any country, to be honest with you. Thank you so much, and may God bless you in everything that you do.